Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Transfer Talk. I'm Diyar and today we'll be uncovering all the transfer news related to the club of the day. Today it's only about players coming into the club, which is a positive. No rumours of players going out of the club. But if you do enjoy the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any new content. But without further ado, let's get right into it. The first player that we'll be talking about today is Nabil Bentaleb. He's a central midfielder but can play as an attacking and a defensive midfielder as well. Only 25 years old. Crystal Palace are interested in signing the Algerian international Bentaleb, according to German media outlet Fußball. The midfielder has not kicked the ball all season long with Schalke and is resuming full training after undergoing major surgery in the summer. This one makes no sense to me. Now, hear me out. I mean, Victor Camarasa, if he does leave, then do we still need a replacement? I don't think so, because it's clear that, yes, we are in an injury crisis right now, but once these players start coming back, is Bentaleb going to be involved in the squad, and where is he going to be involved? The midfield three is Luka Milivojevic, McArthur, and Cheikhou Kouyaté, with McCarthy now being involved as well. So where does Bentaleb fit in to have game time to build fitness? Because we're in no cup competition, so the other real option is him to play under 23s football. And I just don't really see the point of it. I mean, the January transfer window should be focused on players and positions that we desperately need, and midfield right now isn't our priority. Getting a player like Bentaleb in the summer, however, is a different question, because like that, he can build up match fitness and it makes more sense to get him then rather than now. But let me know what you guys think. It doesn't say how much we'll be willing to pay for him. That's another thing. So I guess he'll go for cheap, as he hasn't played a single minute this season. But I'm still not very convinced of signing him in the January transfer window. I'll say leave it to the summer. The second player that we'll be talking about today is Mbwana Samatta, striker, 27 years old. According to The Guardian, he could be set to become the first Tanzanian player to move to the Premier League, with Brighton, Palace and Norwich all interested in signing the striker from Belgian club Genk during this window. He has a €10 million release clause in his contract, which expires at the end of next season. In all competitions this season, he's played 33 games and scored 13 goals. This one's quite interesting. I think it's due to the fact that he has a €10 million release clause in his contract, which, I mean, if we can't afford €10 million for a player, then we shouldn't even try in this window, because that is quite embarrassing. So it is a realistic transfer. As I've said, he scored 13 goals in 33 appearances. So not bad. I mean, it could be better, but it's not all about goals. I think it's what he brings to the table. And if I had to compare him to a player that we have in our current squad, then he reminds me so much of Jordan Ayew in terms of his pace, his dribbling and his finishing. So it's a bit scary in that aspect. I mean, when I was watching him, I was confused on whether I was watching Jordan Ayew or Samatta play. So that's a positive, I guess. But it just depends on, will he be able to do it at the same stage as Jordan Ayew in the Premier League? Because as I've said with many other players, the Premier League is different to all these other leagues that we're linked with from abroad. And the Belgian league, with all due respect, ain't the most competitive league. But I still like what I've seen from him. And the only real downside is the fact that there are two other Premier League clubs involved. So there's still a bit of competition in him. And I think it will go down to rather his personal contract rather than his actual release clause. But let's see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated if there's anything else on him. The final rumour of the day is Tyrese Campbell, striker, 20 years old. And according to The Independent, Palace, Wolves, Celtic and Rangers are among those to have monitored the 20-year-old, whose contract expires at the end of this season. He's currently on loan at Stoke from Shrewsbury Town and has scored 8 goals in 21 appearances. This one is for the future, so even if you guys wanted us to sign him now, we can't do that, unfortunately. But I mean, one thing out of this is that he's 20 years old, which is a positive. And the bigger picture, I mean, really is that the players that we've been linked with for majority of this window have been 23 and under, which is a good sign to see, because right now we have got an aging squad. And I'm not saying it's becoming a problem. I mean, we are in a good position where we are right now, but in a few years, it could become a bit problematic if we don't look to lower down the average age of the squad, so that's a positive. But I mean, Tyrese, he looks like a good player. He's scored 8 goals and 21 appearances this season for Stoke City, and as I've said, there's many clubs that are in for him. So maybe you can look at this video when we hopefully do sign him in the future, but you never know with Palace. Maybe we sign him next season, or we might sign him when he's 31 years old. It's a weird club that we support. But that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. As I've said, if you can leave a like down below, if you have, that would be fantastic. And if you could subscribe, that would be even better. But until next time, up the Palace.